Okay, good morning. I'm a bit twisted. So, someone wanted to know if they needed to have cards or combs to spin with. And the answer is no, you don't. So, what I have is some washed locks that I just recently done. This is Lincoln Longwool and a couple little dark bits here. Hang on a second. Okay. So, what you do is take the locks and literally just open them up and just tease them out. Just tease them open. Tease them open really well. Just go through, and these ones are kind of tight locks, so they have to tease them really well. And just pull them apart. Since you're already working with clean, just pull it apart until it's just a nice, light, fluffy little ball of yarn. Or, well, can't call it yarn yet. It's your fiber. So you can just kind of tease it. Make sure it's well opened. Take a fork, help pick it apart, but this is what you want. Just something light and airy. You can do it with a lot or just a little handful at a time. You also don't need a spinning wheel. You can use a drop spindle, supported spindle, or a great wheel, or a spindle attachment on a wheel that you might have. Or they have plans to make your own really cheap spinning wheel that uses a wooden spindle. You can do that, so it doesn't cost you a lot of money to get into the hobby, because I would agree. If you don't like it and don't want to do it, you haven't spent a lot of money and wasted a lot of money that you might not get your money back. So it's a good idea. It's kind of how I got into this. This spinning wheel right here, when I bought it, cost me 40 bucks. Didn't have treadles on it, just had the wheel and the mother. And that's it. So, there you go. So what I have here is a spindle attachment that I picked up for this wheel, but just for fun. So just start spinning it, and literally it just locks into the wool that I already had on there that I spun exactly the same way. Just let it flick off the end and just lightly draft it out of your hand. Again, this is about the simplest you can get, is with a spindle. And that's why I'm using the spindle, because that might be all you have. Just to show you that you don't need a lot of fancy stuff to do this. Drafting isn't quite as easy sometimes because you might get spots that aren't wanting to draft easily, but it's not bad, as you can see here. And just put it on. Just kind of keep an eye on your thread, the size that you want. Make sure you get enough twist in it before you draft more into it. So you can do that. And that's all there is to that. But hang on one second. Okay, so this doesn't do, let's see here. This little spindle doesn't do as well as something like this. And this is kind of a supported spindle. So you want to support it on something and spin it. So I can undo this one. See if I can get this little thing started here. So one of the things I do with the spindles is I'll take the bottom off and I'll put a little bit of fiber down in there. Just kind of lock that fiber into place. Draft some fiber out after I've twisted it a little bit. Get it started. Draft a little more, get it started. Make sure I do this a little better here. Well, that was a lousy start. Let's try that again. A little bit better of a piece in here, and then I'll just lock that in. Turn it upside down. I'm not very good at these. As you can see. Draft a little out. Draft a little bit out. Draft a little bit more out. Unwind it a little bit. Wind your thread on. more on. So you got to get the hang of it. I don't like drop spindles too much, but other people do, and they're fine if that's what you have. But you can do this without a comb. You can just manually open your thread. You know, people made clothes for millennia. Figuring out different ways to twist their fiber. You know, a little bit of twist here, a little bit of twist there. If you have a actual drop spindle, you can do that. Probably a little easier. Especially if it's a drop spindle that's got some weight to it. Give you a little better opportunity to apply it out, but you kind of get the idea that you can do both. So just wanted to show you that. And if you had some old roving, you know, you can go off the roving, or you can just do all kinds of stuff. And you can spin from that. If you want. Spin from the fold. You know, you can do all that. Just with a wad of thread. There you go. Hope that helps. And show us some samples, what you make. Talk to you later.